Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the River City, where we will have our first ever short track race on the schedule for race number 9. It's the Federated Auto Parts 400 here for the Fastenal Cup Series, and the season is already flying by fast as we already have 7 races to go here at the Fastenal Cup Series, and we're going to be here at Richmond Raceway for race number 9. And of course, from what we saw last week, Tim Jimmins was ejected from the booth and I ended up taking over. And in case you don't know, my name is Sim Timmons, but I'm also here with many other people here that's going to be all here in the booth with me. We have Tim James, Timothy Jameson, and also joining with me is Simmons Tim. How are you guys doing?
Man, I'm so excited to be up here in the booth. Thanks for having us, Sim. And especially about what we saw from the previous 2 races at Talladega and Michigan, the 2 closest finishes that we've ever seen in the Fastenal Cup Series, with Daniel Hemrick winning at Talladega by 3/1000ths of a second, and of course at Michigan, where Tyler Reddick and Michael McDowell literally tied at Michigan International Raceway. Things are already heating up as we get further on into the second half of the season.
Send my oil pressure's to the roof right now. If this gets any more exciting, they're gonna have to tow me out of the booth. Right you are, Timothy. It is still a very close battle for the championship right now as we got 7 races to go, with Truex Jr. still as the current points leader, with Kyle Busch in second place by only 6 points right behind Truex Jr. So he did easily take over the championship lead, and Truex Jr. at least 7 positions behind Kyle Busch tonight, and Kyle Busch to take over the championship lead. But we'll see how things turn out here today as we're about to start our starting lineup here at Richmond Raceway for the Federated Auto Parts 400. Let's go down the field. 2311 sweeps the front row as the most recent race winner at Michigan. Tyler Reddick starts on the pole here today, and Bubba Wallace with his second straight front row start in second place on the outside pole position. In a row 2, these 2 drivers were able to find themselves back into the top 10. Danny Hamlin and Alex Bowman both starting 3rd and 4th. They were able to find themselves back into the top 10, saving both of their seasons, and hopefully they can have another great race here today. Stenhouse and Brad Keselowski in row 3, both of them fell back in points after Michigan. Stenhouse drops from 4th to 7th, and Keselowski drops from 2nd to 4th. So both of these guys, if they can finish where they are at, they can find themselves back into the top 5. And in row 4, we have best friends since 2024, Joey Logano and Austin Dillon, both starting alongside of each other in 7th and 8th. Teammates neither year, rivals every year. Friends, maybe never. And rounding out the top 10, how about the 43 of Erik Jones? Impressive qualifying lap for Erik Jones, obviously trying to keep his season alive as he's listed 31st in points. And the 12 of Ryan Blaney, our Kansas winner, starts alongside of him in row 5. Tim James?
Alright, row 6, we have 2 championship contenders, that being the 8 of Kyle Busch and the 9 of Chase Elliott. Both start 11th and 12th. Kyle Busch is the 2nd right now in points, and Chase Elliott right now is 5th in points. And there's Truex Jr. starting 13th here today, our current championship points leader. And alongside of him in 6th place in points, we have the 17 of Christopher Buescher alongside of him.
Okay, Tim James, I know you're a Dale Jr. counterpart, but did you really have to do that right there?
Well, hey man, you said it in the informational video, so might as well do it on here. Somebody else has got to say it.
I know, don't worry, there's no rules here in the booth, so you can have as much fun as you want here.
Alright, anyway, starting 15th here, we see the 1 of Ross Chastain. Just really hasn't been an exciting season. In fact, it's been a bad season for the 1 of Ross Chastain. Hopefully he turned things around. And there's the 20 of Christopher Bell alongside of him, starting 16th. And this is back in row number 8. Back in row number 9, we see William Byron in number 24, starting here in the 17th place position. And ladies and gentlemen, making his racing debut, starting 18th, that is going to be the 25 of Jake Taylors. He's going to be making his racing debut here today. A very impressive qualifying lap as well for the 25. So let's see if he can make some noise here in his very first race ever in his life.
He's going to be a full-timer and a potential Truex Series coming out.
And right out the top 20, how about SVG in the number 91, starting 19th, starting decent here on an oval. And Chase Briscoe, who was improving his season after a very strong end of the first half, finds himself back down below the top 20 after a bad race at Michigan. But he starts 20th on the outside of row number 10. So as long as he can make some noise, he could potentially get back up into the points. Jimothy?
Cody Ware, who's dangerously close to being eliminated from championship contention, finds himself in the 21st qualifying position. And there is the 77 Carson host of our Busch Light Clash winner, starting 22nd in row 11. So pretty decent qualifying effort for them. Not so much for Daniel Suarez though, especially if he's below the top 15 in points, so hopefully he can at least improve, including the 4 of Josh Berry, who's currently 24th in points. So we should be on the lookout for both of those guys as they're going to be racing hard to try to get back up into the points.
In the 25th starting position, we have the 38 of Todd Gilliland
in row 13, and Daniel Hamilton, number 31, back in the Circle Color Chevrolet this week.
Hopefully he doesn't go upside down once again for the second race in a row. And man, it's just been a bad season so far for the 16 of AJ Allmendinger as well. He's going to be starting 27th, not a great qualifying lap again, as well as the 2 of Austin Cindric, as they both start in row 14. And making his second Fastenal Cup Series start is the 71 of Zane Smith, who starts 29th here today. And rounding up the top 30, we see the 41 of Ryan Preece with another bad qualifying effort and hopefully trying to make some noise here as he's trying to save his season. And now for a Larry Matt counterpart, Simmons Tim, more about the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek. Simmons?
Yeah, guys, John Hunter Nemechek has been having one of the worst seasons that you could possibly ever imagine. Right now, so far, he is currently dead last in points, and not only that, right behind our championship leader, he is currently 169 points out from the championship lead. So he's in a massive hole that he really needs to get out of, but surprisingly, no matter where he finishes here, he still will not be mathematically eliminated yet from championship contention. But however, if he finishes below the top 25 today, then in race number 10 after that, he could have a real chance that on that day, he could potentially get mathematically eliminated from championship contention. So be on the lookout for John Hunter Nemechek today. Even though he's starting 31st, you might want to take a look on that number 42 because he's got one important task to do, and that's to finish inside the top 25 if he wants to at least stay alive for a little bit more longer. Sim? Yeah, thanks Simmons for giving out the clarification for the viewers at home. And look at this, the 5 of Kyle Larson, starting 32nd in row number 16, right alongside John Nemechek. A terrible qualifying lap for Kyle Larson. So if he wants to stay in the top 12 in points, he needs to make some noise here and at least try to make some noise out of the front. And how about Ty Gibbs? Once again, not with a great qualifying effort for him as well, including the 7 of Justin Haley. It just can't get any worse for the number 7 team, so he's got to at least make some noise here as they both start 33rd and 34th. Noah Gratson in the number 10, another poor qualifying effort for him as well. But the 34, Michael McDowell, right beside him, also starting up very poorly as well, as he starts alongside of him, starting in the 35th position. And rounding out the field, we see the 67 of Corey Heim making his second race here for the Fastenal Cup Series, and the 21 of Harrison Burns going to round out the field. After starting 21st in the previous 2 races, now he rounds himself into the 38th starting position, rounding up the field in row number 19, and that is your starting lineup here at the Federated Auto Parts 400. And guys, how about this? For the second race in a row, we did not have any open car drivers that DNQ'd here in this race. Just like in Michigan, all the open car drivers were able to make the field. So we have all 38 drivers that will be racing here at Richmond Raceway. And boys, whew, today I'm fired up. I know, Tim James, and knowing that this is going to be a short track, I am looking forward to a lot of short track racing because we're going to be seeing that a lot here today. And maybe we can have another upset victory and maybe another crazy finish like what we saw from these previous 2 races. Well, guys, I don't want to keep you waiting, and I don't want the fans waiting as well. But let's go ahead and get those engines fired as we go trackside to get those engines fired here at the River City to start race number 9 of the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series.
Drivers, start your engines!
Well, guys, remember, one wise man has said, reach up there and pull those belts tight one last time, boys.
Absolutely, as we see the cars now driving away from pit road, we're about to start this thing, and Jimothy, you want to do the honors? Yes, sir. I've been wanting to do this ever since I was invited up here onto the booth, as we're about to take the green flag here. Here we go, green flag's in here. Bootity! Let's go racing, boys, and yes, I stole the trademark!
They're all just not in the Fox Sports booth anyway, so who cares if you stole it or not?
That's exactly the reason why FS1 died to begin with.
Anyway, as we see everybody now doing 3 wide as they enter down the back straightaway,
we're potentially going to be seeing that a lot here in these restarts here as we see the 25 of Jake Taylors, who honestly is making his first ever start here, not only in the Fastenal Cup Series, but his very first race in life.
Yeah, guys, I'm impressed because he started off this race in the 18th position. We had no idea where he came from. We have no idea why he decided to be here. But you know, man, it's awesome to see somebody out here who has never raced a professional race in their whole entire life. I heard he's got a lot of training, so don't worry if you think that we're out here just finding random people we got for rides. Don't worry, we only take them if they are well trained. Absolutely, experience is key here for the Fastenal Cup Series, as we see the top 3 pulling away from the field. The 45, the 23, and the 11 was able to break through the field right now, and as we see, a lot of action still currently taking place, even though this is the back end of the field. But obviously the main story about the 10 of Noah Gragson, who had such a strong end to the first half of the season, now all of a sudden he's starting to fall back like a rock. And the 42 of Jonathan Nemechek, it has not been any much better, because obviously, like what Simmons Tim said before, Jonathan Nemechek could very well be eliminated in the next race if he finishes well below the top 25 here today, as we see Shane Van Gisbergen right now making his way towards the field, but not making too much ground though. Yeah, but obviously this is just the start of the race, so we're not expecting to see too much action here early on here. I know we're going to see that a lot here on these restarts here whenever we see them, but most likely it's just been smooth sailing so far for these top 3 guys that's currently racing right now, because they pretty much broke away from this field ever since the start of this race. Yeah, not to mention, Timothy, that we just completed the 5th lap here, so we have 100 laps here at Richmond Raceway, in which this is the most amount of laps that we have led since the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte back in August, and that race had 80 laps, and that was 600 miles. But the reason why it's 100 laps here, and Charlotte was longer but had less laps, is because obviously, as you mentioned, this is a short track, so that's why exactly we're racing 100 laps here instead of our usual 40 to 50 to 60 laps that we usually see on a regular basis, as we're going to keep track of the 19 of Truex Jr. as well. So far, he's currently 6 positions back from the 8 of Kyle Busch, who is currently 2nd in the standings right now. Yeah, of course, if the race would have ended right now, we would have saw a tie between the 19 and the 8 in the standings, as we see the 25 of Jay Taylor's heading in for the pit stops early. Yeah, 25 Jay Taylor's, I don't know if he's having some sort of a problem, but he's heading in for an early service here. Oh, we got a crash at turn 3. The 24 and the 20 just made contact, and the 24, and they both go around. We see multiple others getting involved. Shane Gisbergen, it looks like he's caught up in it. Looks like everybody's able to drive away okay. Everybody is still straight. They're able to keep it going. And we have a caution. And so we do, Simmons. And William Byron, who entered into this race 8th in the standings, already involved in an accident on just the 8th lap of this race. My. And looks like there's damage on the 20 of Christopher Bell as well, as he was also involved in that wreck. Yeah, guys, it all started when the 24 looks like he was trying to pass the 20 of Christopher Bell, but he ran out of apron and he caused the 24 to get into the 20, and that's how this whole thing started, as we're going to take a look at a replay about what caused this whole thing. Going down the back straightaway, you see the 24 trying to make a move right there on the bottom. It looks like it made the 20 shook up, and obviously 24 had no idea that the 20 was about to check up, and that's what caused William Byron and Christopher Bell to make contact, and that's how the both of them got into the wall. Multiple others standing around trying to avoid. You see the 71 just grazing the wall there a little bit. Yeah, looks like Zane Smith got slight contact with the wall here as we focus on from the 91 of Shane Van Gisbergen, who we were just talking about just a little bit. Ooh, right there, he tried to avoid the action, and looks like he got a little piece of Christopher Bell, and Ty Gibbs tried to avoid the action, got a little piece of him. And guys, I believe a lot of drivers went into their pit stops here. There you go. Yep, and we'll take a look at more replays in just a bit, as we're seeing multiple guys going down pit road. Most of our leaders are going down pit road right now. You see the 45 and the 23 almost simultaneously going down into the pits. Oh, he took fuel only, Tyler Reddick is able to go through. Looks like he just got fuel only. Looks like some drivers as well. So the 47, the 22, the 43, the 8. And Bubba Wallace is going to lose a lot of spots here. He lost 6 positions, Sim. Yeah, he lost 6 positions after Tyler Reddick just took fuel only. And it looks like the 47 and the 22 looks like did the exact same thing. So Bubba Wallace is going to drop all the way down into the 8th place position. And guys, this is going to move the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to the 2nd place position. We talked about how Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is trying to at least get back up to the top 5 in points after he had such a strong first half. And not to mention the 22 of Joey Logano is also right behind him. So we got a championship contender right up here into this pack, guys. And yeah, and also a reminder that 25 is actually a lap down, because we saw him going down pit road right before that caution came out. And Simmons, I think you have an idea about what that possibly could be for?
Yeah, guys, the 25 of Jay Taylor's went down pit road because of this. This was actually at the very start of this race on the first lap. You'll see them going 3 wide as they come into the turn number 2, and you see the 25 hit the wall right there, scraping the wall, pretty significant contact. And then shortly after that, the 25 came on the radio saying, I have a very bad vibration, and he already has a little bit of damage on the right side of that car. So that's why the 25 of Jay Taylor's went down pit road, because of that contact in the wall on lap 1, guys.
Man, you would hate to see that happen, and for your first ever race in your life, after scraping the wall on just the first lap, already having issues. As we go back to the lap 8 incident, like we said, the 20 checked up, the 24 had a huge run, and clearly it did not work out in the 24's favor as he made contact with Bell, and just wrong place at the wrong time. You see everybody trying to scatter around, and 71 Zane Smith, I'm not sure what he was doing there, but they were at least able to negotiate through the accident.
And here's a ride along with Christopher Bell.
And I believe in this armor right here, we will find out to see exactly if the 20 does check up as they come into turn number 3. You see 24 trying to make a move.
Oh, there it is.
Yep, right there, the 20 lets off the throttle and he gets into the brake, and there they go.
Yeah, and that was also a pretty flushed hit by the 20 and the 24. They made significant contact with the wall, so we'll see how well the cars can handle from here on out.
What a shame.
Yeah, guys, I heard from Christopher Bell's radio saying that the 24 did not lift coming into turn 3, so we got to ride along with the 24 and see if that kosher. Well, that was very tight space coming into the turn, so he may have actually let off the throttle so that way he can prevent that type of accident. But I think the 20 misjudged the braking time, and that's what caused this whole accident to transpire. So I don't think it's anybody's fault. It's just a misjudgment.
Yeah, I agree, Tim James, because from that angle, it looked like the 20 just misjudged the braking
man,
time.
look out.
Oh man, did you see how close it was for the 5 and the 14? How they were able to negotiate through that? Wow, that was a close call by the both of those guys. Woo, man, what a wreck avoidance.
Man, that was a close call right there, because the 5 and the 14 literally was sliding sideways trying to avoid the accident scene.
I'd say let's give a little ride along with the 5 of Kyle Larson, see how he avoided all this mess.
You guys also watched the 14. He also had a close call as he came sliding in to avoid this accident.
Oh, man, look out.
Whoa. Oh my gosh, I think my heart sank to my chest there for a second, guys.
I bet it did for all of us here in the booth and the fans at home.
Well, on just the 8th lap here at the Federated Autobarts 400, we are already under caution for a multi-car stack-up here that took place in turns 3 and 4, which involves William Byron, Christopher Bell, and the 91 of Shane Van Gisbergen. And we're going to take a quick commercial break here, and we'll be right back for the restart here at Richmond.
14 laps in so far here at the Federated Auto Parts 400 as we are continuing to be under caution here, but not for much longer as we are about to go back underway to take the restart here on lap 15. That 25 car of Jay Taylor's is actually not on the lead lap. As we saw, the 25 of Jay Taylor's went down to the pit road after scraping the wall, and ironically enough, when the caution came out, when the 24 and the 20 both collided, and that's why Jay Taylor's is currently a lap down as we are back underway here at Richmond.
Oh man, and the thing that I hate about there being no double file restarts, the guy that's on the inside row, he's going to fall back like a rock here, but looks like this time around the 25 is going to get a little bit of a push from the 8.
But once the 8 makes his move, that 25 is done. Because once you get wide open there in the middle, bye-bye, you're falling straight to the back. And I think that's exactly what we're about to see right now.
Oh, yeah, there it goes. There goes the 8 of Kyle Busch, making a move right there in the middle. Gonna make it 3 wide right there. The 25. Yeah, he's in huge trouble now. He doesn't have any help right there in the middle. Wow, they are super tight coming into the turn, but looks like they were able to keep it straight. But that 25 car is in major trouble.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that just yet, because that 23 right there is giving him a little bit of a help right there. So I wouldn't say that he's in trouble. Yeah, he's not going to drop significantly in the field. Oh, maybe he will because the 23 jumped out of line.
Yeah, Jay Taylor's making his racing debut, really getting his money's
worth. Oh, we got
worth.
a car on the wall. The 9 of Chase Young, it looks like made hard contact with the wall as he went wide open there in turn 2.
He's able to keep it rolling, but the 19 of Truex Jr. is really challenging right now under pressure.
Yeah, he hit that wall a ton, but somehow, someway, he's able to keep it rolling. But the 19, like you said, is really challenging him right now as he is right on his back bumper. Yeah, and also not to mention Truex Jr. now currently running in the 12th place position, trying to see if he can maintain his championship lead as Kyle Busch is trailing right behind him in the championship lead by only 6 points.
And Kyle Busch is ahead of Truex Jr. by 7 positions.
Yeah, and Sam, if we stop the count right now, if the race would have ended right now, then that means the 19 of Truex Jr. would have lost the championship lead by only 1 point, because obviously we know Truex is ahead by only 6 points ahead of Kyle Busch, and since he's 7 positions up, that would give the 8 of Kyle Busch the championship lead. But look right here, Kyle Larson, all of a sudden he finds himself into the top 15 somehow after stalling 30 seconds.
That's very impressive for the 5 of Kyle Larson to somehow make his way back up here near to the top 15. And as you see, the 11 of Denny Hamlin looks like he's falling back just a little bit. Now we currently see him listed in the 13th place position. I mean, he did start 12th here in this restart here. I mean, so he hasn't fallen back like a rock, but obviously he took 4 tires while Tyler Reddick only took fuel.
And Sam, that defines strategy, because what they're trying to do here is that they're trying to at least get a run on these tires here, because our pit road window is usually around lap 70 to lap 90 here in this particular race. So with us concluding lap 21, they could at least make it through the distance, but a lot of these guys who did not took tires or wave around might not even make it to the end unless there's no caution. Yeah, that's right, and Tyler Reddick really needs to be on the lookout, because he was one of the only drivers, besides Ricky Stenhouse and Joey Logano, that only took fuel on that pit stop on lap 8 during the caution period. And speaking of which, we see Ricky Stenhouse Jr., number 47, trying to see if he can make a little bit of noise, trying to get back up into the points after having a collapse in these previous 2 races.
Yeah, but the first half of the season for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was just spectacular. Like 5 straight top 15 finishes to start the first 5 races, and then it all came crumbling down at Pocono after he got his first DNF. But Joey Logano, however, though, had a nasty start to the first half of the season, and somehow, some way, he finds himself 3rd in the championship standings, and actually was leading the championship standings after Pocono until he lost it at Talladega after not having a great finish there. And Joey Logano really trying to be red hot here if he wants to at least make it back up to the top of the points.
Well, the good news is for Joey is that he's currently running in the 3rd place position, but however, though, Truex Jr. is struggling. He is still stuck in the 12th place position and right now under pressure by his teammate Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, that car is tight. If he's not able to make moves like that, that car is incredibly tight. So they're going to have to at least try to make some adjustments here if they want to at least get up here into the front.
You're right, Timothy. It has been a pretty struggling day for the 19 of Truex right now, including the 11 of Denny Hamlin.
Both currently outside the top 10, but just barely below it, as they are currently running 11th and 12th right now. And that's exactly what the 8 and the 22 definitely needed, because if they get more points than Martin, they could potentially get up into the top 2. So we'll see how it plays out here. And reminder to everybody, Shane Van Gisbergen is not on the lead lap. He is currently 2 laps down after being involved in that lap 8 incident, and obviously it's not been a great stretch right now for Shane Van Gisbergen after winning Sonoma.
Yeah, it really hasn't been, and Shane Van Gisbergen has been mad hungry, and a lot of these guys are also hungry too, including the 45 of Tyler Reddick. Even though coming off fresh from an unbelievable win at Michigan, right now he's still currently 20th in the standings right now.
Well, Tim James, the good news about this is that Tyler Reddick has led every single lap so far, so he is currently on a roll right now. It looks to be unstoppable.
How about this 43 car of Eric Jones, man? Unbelievable. And we did not expect to see Eric Jones to have a great run here today so far. Currently listed in the 4th place position, right behind championship contender Joey Logano.
And also, Tim, look who's in front with.
Another championship contender.
Yeah, that's
Kyle
right.
Busch.
Well, no doubt about it. This is definitely what the 43 of Eric Jones definitely needs. Currently running in the 4th place position. He is currently 31st of the points right now, and looks like he's trying to make more right now as he is trying to get past Joey Logano for 3rd.
Yeah, guys, not to mention that Eric Jones' only top 5 that he's had so far this season was all the way back in race number 5 back in October at Sonoma Raceway. And I spoke with Eric Jones earlier this week, and I told him about how he's been struggling so much about this whole entire season, and he claimed that the cars are just not where it's meant to be. The whole entire team is not performing like it's supposed to. But now, Eric Jones still currently running in the 4th place position, and he can stay up there running well. He could potentially get his 2nd top 5 finish, Sim. Yeah, and Simmons, I love how you mentioned about how this whole team for the Legacy Motor Club has not been performing like it's supposed to. Like, we even saw from the Daytona 500. One of the co-owners, Jimmy Johnson, who was running in number 84, was running in the lead with 5 laps to go of the race. A caution comes out with a horrific accident taking place on the front stretch with 2 cars flipping over. And then during that caution period, he decided to pit the Tate tires, Unfortunately, at that time, that's when race officials decided to call the race early because of safety concerns, and Jimmie Johnson went from leading the race, finishing down into 18th. So it was definitely a worst case scenario for Jimmie Johnson, and Jonathan Nemechek, as you mentioned, a horrible season for the 42, and the 43 has just not been where it's supposed to be. And we see Kyle Busch going way out of line. Looks like he may have gotten a little shoved by Bubba Wallace there.
No, the 23 did not make contact with the 8. Looks like the 8 just got arrow loose right there, and that's why he got out of line, and that's caused the 23 to at least try to pass Kyle Busch right now for 5th.
All right, thanks, Tim James. And obviously, we know that Kyle Busch is currently second in the point standings right now. You saw that he's currently running in the 5th place position, currently under pressure right now. And Martin Truex Jr. is still currently 12th. So, like you said, Tim James, if they would have stopped the count, Kyle Busch would have taken the points lead.
Yeah, and Sam, if Kyle Busch finishes 7 positions above Martin Truex at the end of this race, we will see Kyle Busch take over the championship lead by only 1 point ahead of Martin.
We'll just have to wait and see how this whole thing plays out as Kyle Reddick continues to lead the way.
Oh boy, but hang on, guys. You see we got some lap traffic coming into play. That's the 54 of Ty Gibbs, so this could potentially help out the 47, the 22, and the 43, and potentially the 8 if the 45 struggles to get past lap traffic here.
Ooh, not so fast, Jimothy, because now we're seeing the 47 and the 22 under pressure right now from lap traffic, but it looks like the 47, looks like he's going to get in front of the lap traffic cars with ease.
Yeah, and you saw there on your screen, Tyler Reddick just passed by, and you saw lap traffic in his way right now, so we gotta wait and see if Tyler Reddick can get in front of those lap traffic cars, but Joey Logano, though, however, is a little bit under pressure.
Yeah, man, I do not like the sign of this. Not only that you got 2 lap traffic cars blocking both lanes, you also got somebody on the bottom side trying to pass you for position. Not only 1 car, but 2 cars right there on the bottom as Bubba Wallace getting pushed by the 8.
Oh man, the 22 really got loose right there. Now they're 3 wide right now with 2 different lanes.
Oh, look out!
Oh,
Oh, into the
man.
wall goes Priest. And that is going to affect Joey Logano big time as he was right behind Ryan Priest, who got into the wall.
4
Near
wide.
disastrous right there for Joey Logano as they were temporarily 4 wide.
Oh,
come
man,
on,
right there at the
guys.
bottom. The 3 and the 9 both made contact, trying to avoid the 41 of Ryan Priest, and that could have been really bad for the both of those as they are both currently running in the top 10.
Just spectacular racing currently unfolding as everybody is trying to avoid the lap traffic. Once again, really close call by the 3 and the 9. Like you said, Tim James, they were both making contact right there, and they both almost went around. Well, it looks like everybody is calming down now. It looks like all the lap traffic is slowly dying down with ease. So, still, that was crazy. Things definitely heated up for sure. And while that was going on, Tyler Reddick now has a 3-second advantage over the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., which I believe is still currently battling against lap traffic right there. The 54 of Ty Gibbs still trying to take the lead and try to get past that 54.
Well, as that was going on, you see the 23 of Bubba Wallace slowly closing in on this 47, and that's because the 47, it was been stuck behind that 54 for 2 laps now, as the 47 looks like he's finally got through, but now the 54 is now going to block the 23.
And boy, this is probably going to help out Kyle Busch right here because now he is closing in on the back bumper of the 23 as the 23 is trying to get in front of the 54. Oh, man. Well, we'll never know. Look out, guys. We're not quite done with lap traffic yet as the 45 is closing in on some more right here. And guys, on just lap 42, we already have 28 cars still left on the lead lap. So already 11 cars currently either a lap down or 2 laps down. As now, the 45 was able to get past the 67. Now he's got to get past the 25.
6-7.
Okay. Wow. Totally uncalled for Pete's sake.
Why?
man.
You said there was no rules. Okay, you can blame yourself for inviting me over here. I'm just trying to have some fun here. You said I can have as much fun as I want.
Yeah, I know I said that, Tim James, but I sort of walked myself right into that one when I said the 67, so...
Yeah, now it's your own fault.
Well, as Tyler Reddick continues to lead, we still got a lot more lap traffic still coming into play right here, but looks like for the most part, the 45 is able to negotiate through as he just got past the 25 of Jake Taylor's and now the 10 of Noah Gragson. And you guys, let's also not to mention that the 45 of Tyler Reddick also went down pit road for fuel only in the previous caution. So right now, he is currently running on 45 lap old tires, and I do not expect to see Tyler Reddick make it all the way to the end on all of those tires. So expect him to pit within between the lap 75 and the lap 90 period.
Yeah, and that's the exact strategy that the 47 is currently taking right now. That's currently why he's running in the second place position. Bubba Wallace right now has the freshest tires, and already you see the 23 closing in on Bubba Wallace with those fresh tires.
Yeah, I'm also looking at the laps. The 23 has been pulling a lot more faster times
than both the 45 and the 47. So that 23 has been staggering fast, especially with those fresh tires. So that 23 car can really be a real contender here in these closing laps. Absolutely, Jimothy, and with 55 laps to go, these laps are going to go by quick, so Bubba Wallace doesn't have a lot of time to try to catch up with the 45, but look at the kerfuffle amount of lap traffic that he came upon.
Yeah, this is one of the worst case scenarios if you're the race leader, especially with all this lap traffic coming into play. You know, with they all block almost all lanes, and right there at the 45, he's actually having a little bit of a trouble to try to get past that damaged number 20.
Not to mention Tim James, he is currently 3 wide with 2 other lap traffic cars, but looks like he's able, he might be okay. I think he's going to negotiate through all of those cars with these. And so he will. The 45 has pretty much cleared almost every single car in that pad, but now the question is, how will the 47, the 23, and even the 8 be able to negotiate through all that lap traffic coming?
Yes, and not to mention, if you're Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right now, you're probably sweating because not only do you have somebody behind you trying to pass you for track position, but you also got a lot of lap traffic in front of you, as that 47 is trying to pass that already beating up number 24.
Oh man, but guys, the 23 got way on the line, and now he's going to be stuck right behind the 24. So now that's going to be bad news for the 23 and even the 8, as they're both right behind that damaged number 24. Well, Jimmy, the good news is that Simmons Tim said that he has fresher tires, and that's why you saw the 23 pass the 24 without any sort of problem. And it looks like the 8 car is going to do the exact same thing. But now the 23 is under pressure right now for the 8 car. This is for 3rd.
Yeah, and see, look right there. The 23 has already caught up to another lap traffic car, but he's going to stay up high and he's going to go down low. So I believe the 23 is going to pass that 71 with no problems.
And just like that, guys, we are already halfway done throughout this race. 50 laps to go here for the Federated Auto Parts 400. And as you can see, the 23 already caught back up to the 47 with 2 more lap traffic cars into play.
And Sam, that is pretty much what is causing this 23 to catch up to this 47 so quick. As you can see, he's trying to make a pass for 2nd right now. He's going to be able to clear himself.
Not yet, Jimmy. Not yet, Jimmy.
But the good thing is that the 91 is actually blocking the 47, and that's going to drop him down to 4th place as Kyle Busch now is trying to pass the 47, and he does.
Woo, but the 8 behind him got arrow loose right there, so that's probably going to cost the 47 to retake 3rd place. Well, both best friends in the 8 and the 47 currently side by side right now, and like he said, this is for 3rd place right now, but the 10 of Noah Gradson's right in front of Kyle Busch.
Oh,
no, he goes wide.
He got arrow loose once again, and that's what caused him to go way out of line, and that's pretty much going to do it there for the 47 to get in front of him for 3rd.
Looks like Alex Bowman was trying to do the same thing as well, but now he's being under pressure by Shane Van Gisbergen, so thankfully Kyle Busch is not going to lose a ton of spots here, but he does lose the 2nd place position as Tyler Reddick continues to lead the way. Impressive, man. That 45 has been strong from the get-go, and as you can see clearly, he has led all 55 laps so far. He's trying to become the 4th driver to lead every single lap of the race. We saw that happening with Blaney, SVG, and Truex, all at Kansas, Sonoma, and Pocono. So I am very impressed about how strong that 45 car is, especially about how much he's been pulling away from lap traffic and the lead lap cars.
Not to mention, Jimothy, now he has a 3.5 second lead over the 23 of Bubba Wallace's teammates, so it's a pretty comfortable gap with the 45, but you got to be on the lookout for lap traffic cars.
And 19 of Truex Jr. points leader, continuing to struggle to get up to the top 10 as he's still currently running in the 12th place position.
Yeah, not to mention that Truex is now 8 positions back from Kyle Busch, and that will give Kyle Busch the championship lead by 2 points if we were able to finish this race. So that's definitely not what the 19 definitely needed. He needs to pick it back up, but as you can see clearly, Truex Jr., who is behind Chase Elliott, is around another 4 seconds back behind him.
Well, Jimmy, the thing is that I think Kyle Busch was one of those drivers that took fuel only on that previous caution period. So, and I believe Truex Jr. also pitted with 4 tires in fuel. So this could potentially help the 19 of Truex, because I personally do not think that the 8 of Kyle Busch is probably going to make it all the way with those tires. No, he will not, Sim. So the only mathematical way that Kyle Busch can actually make it all the way without having to take tires is that a caution comes out and that he pits during that caution period. Well, let's also talk about the drivers in 7th and 8th. That being Chris Buescher and Joey Logano. They're both also ahead of the 19 of Truex Jr. So they could potentially get more points gained to at least try to close the gap on the championship lead, because right now both of them are currently inside the top 10.
Yeah, not to mention Logano's third and Busch is sixth right now in the point standings, but the six of Brad Keselowski, who is currently fourth in the championship standings, is behind the 19 of Truex Jr.
Well, the thing is, Tim James, Brad Keselowski has not been able to pull off that many great performances these past couple of days, so he is running okay. He is running in the 15th place position, but in the previous couple races, he has finished outside the top 20 even. So this is definitely what the sits of Brad Keselowski kind of needs as Tyler Reddick continues to get past lap traffic.
Yeah, look at that, guys. 16 cars right now on the lead lap right now. As you see, Bubba Wallace really stuck behind a lot of lap traffic cars right now.
Yeah, not to mention, Tim James, with all of this stuff going on, that is increasing Tyler Reddick's lead a lot, because now Tyler Reddick is 4 seconds in front of his teammate Bubba Wallace for the number 23. Yep, and not to mention that this is now the biggest gap between first and second. We have not seen that big of a gap between the leader and second place all season long, because obviously they've been all super close. They've all been have packed racing, and the only reason why Tyler Reddick is that far out in front is that all these cars here that's currently from second all the way to fifth, they've been stuck behind these lap traffic cars.
Yeah, they have been struggling a lot, as we see the 47 of Stenhouse right behind a lot of lap traffic cars, and that's probably potentially going to help the 8 car to try to get back into the third place position, try to get back to the top 3. As you can see, the 51 and the 16 right in front of the 47, and this is potentially going to help out the 8 car as he's closing in on the 47. Here he goes.
Oh, but not so fast, guys. The 51 is also right in front of him, too, so this could also affect the 8 car as well, but the 48 right there is not that far behind, letting him know. Yeah, look at that. Alex Bowman on the 48 now trying to add his name into the picture here.
Yeah, he's going to get it right here. The 47 is losing positions, and now he's going to lose it to the 43 of Eric Jones, who is continuing to have a strong run here today.
Oh, man, that sucks for the 47, because now he's no longer in the top 5. He lost the top 5 after that. He's still stuck behind a lot of lap traffic cars. And remember, guys, for these next couple races, we're going to keep an eye on the 19 of Truex Jr., see if he can at least get back up to the front, but he's still currently running in the 12th place position right now, right behind Corey Hine.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to say the number again.
Nope, not this time, Tim James. I'm learning from the first time around, so we'll keep an eye on the 19 of Truex Jr. right now as the 45 of Tyler Reddick led all 66 laps so far here today, in a dominant day for the 45 of Tyler Reddick.
And guys, since we're now less than 40 laps away from the end of this race, no matter where Tyler Reddick finishes here, he's going to get an extra point for leading the most laps.
Yeah, that's right, Simmons. With 34 laps left remaining here in this race, with Tyler Reddick leading 66 laps, nobody can outseed the 45 of Tyler Reddick. So he's going to get an extra point regardless, no matter where he finishes.
But he's really trying to lead every single lap, trying to become the 4th driver to do so in the Fastenal Cup Series. We've seen that a lot from a lot of these guys. We saw it from Blaney at Kansas, SVG at Sonoma, and sure, it's not that long ago at Pocono.
Yeah, it's just been amazing about how these drivers are capable of doing that, and not to mention that Tyler Reddick is having the race of his life. As you can see, the lead is already 5 seconds already between the 45. You will see the difference right there. You saw the 45 passing by. Here comes the 23 right there. That's how big of a gap it is between the leaders right now currently.
And also, not to mention that you mentioned not that long ago, 16 cars are currently on the lead lap right now. Everybody else is either a lap down or 2 laps down. But the 48 of Alex Bowman right there, our Daytona 500 winner, obviously you can see that he's now running in the 4th place position right now. But Eric Jones, though, continuing his very strong run as he maintains in the top 5.
Yeah, man, this is definitely what both those guys definitely needed, especially with the 43 Eric Jones, currently 31st in standings. Alex Bowman having a collapse after winning the Daytona 500 back in June. And he also had a great day in Michigan a couple weeks ago, so he's going to get a lot more points if he can finish us where he stands. Yeah, and not to mention that Chris Buescher, who had a very strong first half of the season, he was actually running inside the top 3 for a good majority of the season until he did have a couple of bad races at Talladega in Michigan. So now he currently finds himself in the 6th place position.
Yeah, and I'm super impressed about how Christopher Buescher is performing here so far this season. I don't think anybody expected for him to be up here into the top 10 in points. In fact, leading the points earlier this season, but like you said, Sim Timmons, he's trying to have a comeback in points to try to get back up to the very top.
And how about the 11 of Denny Hamlin? We haven't been able to talk about him a lot today as he was struggling after that restart here. But now the 11 finds himself into the 8th place position. He's back into the top 10. And Joey Logano is now right behind him. And he slowly creep his way back into the top 10 here.
Yeah, but Joey Logano in the 22, though, however, though, is 16 points behind our championship leader, Truex Jr. And what's going on with the 42?
Oh,
He's blowing up, guys.
No! Johnner Nemechek is blowing up on the back straightaway.
Are you kidding
And
me?
guys, remember what I said at the start of this race. Johnner Nemechek cannot be mathematically eliminated here tonight, but if he does finish just below the top 25, he will be put in a position where he could be eliminated next race, and that's exactly what we're going to be seeing here as he blows up here. And with the caution coming out on lap 74, be sure to keep an eye on these guys who turned fuel only on the previous caution period to come in this time by.
Oh my gosh, guys.
And Simmons Tim is right, guys. The caution is out for the second time here today on lap 74. We do have some oil on the track onto the apron in turn 2, so that's why they brought out the caution. So that way they could clean that oil up, so that way we could get back going. That was for the 42 of John Nemechek, who blows up here at Richmond Raceway on the closing laps of this race. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, right here, he's just by himself coming into turn 1, so I don't think he had any contact at all.
Oh,
right
man.
there, it just blew up on its own. Just out of nowhere, nothing that John Nemechek can do.
And he was running in the 31st place position, so John Nemechek was in a dire situation either way. But that's one of the worst feelings as a race car driver, trying to finish a race and then all of a sudden the motor blows out. And it wasn't any of your wrongdoings, it's just blow up on its own naturally, and your day is already done in an instant. What a shame.
And here's the onboard that we were able to scavenge from John Nemechek when it blew up right here. Just take a listen.
There she goes.
And right there, that's when the motor goes out.
Man, and John Nemechek was really trying to have a clean race here today. He wanted to at least try to finish a race. And especially after coming off from an injury at Talladega, this is definitely not what the 42 definitely needed. Not the way that he wanted to return back to the Fastenal Cup Series after injury.
Man, that sucks.
And this changes everything. And that's right, Timothy. This does change everything. As everybody who pitted on that previous caution period, who only took fuel only, now has the decision to go into pit road to get those 4 tires. But the caution is out once again here on the Federated Auto Parts 400 for the second time today, with the 42 of John Nemechek blowing up a piston on the back straightaway on lap 74 of this race. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back for the restart here at Richmond. Restarting here in Richmond with 21 laps to go here at the Federated Auto Parts 400. And look right here, guys. We're actually seeing some double file action here in this restart. Well, no, actually, guys, let me clarify about what's happening here. That 54 car that's currently leading that line, all that whole entire line is currently a lap down. They are not on the lead lap. So the top side are on the lead lap, while the inside line are currently a lap down or more. And that is probably the closest that we will ever see double file restarts here in the Fastenal Cup Series, as we are back underway with 21 laps remaining here at Richmond, and Tyler Reddick with a great jump.
And let me clarify to everybody is that there is no rule for jumping the restart here. So you can accelerate whenever you want to and whenever you want to on the restart. So Tyler Reddick will not get penalized for anything. But you see Bubba Wallace now in the second place position with Kyle Busch in third. You see the inside line is completely faltering, as of course all of that is being lap traffic cars.
But oh boy, if you're the 19 of Truex, you better watch out, because you got a lot of lap traffic coming into play. How are you able to negotiate through if you want to keep the lead? You see somebody on the wall right there. Oh my. Yeah, I believe that was Harrison Burton, the number 21, that made slight contact with the outside wall. As you can see the field extremely tight here as they enter in the front straightaway. Man, guys, this is wild. I don't even know who's on the lead lap or who's not on the lead lap, as there are so many cars to pinpoint here. But we are aware that the 3 of Austin Dillon that we're looking at here is on the lead lap. He's currently running in the 9th place position right now. Yeah, and we haven't even talked about the 3 of Austin Dillon all day yet so far. And now he's currently running in the top 10 right now. So pretty shocking to see the 3 of Austin Dillon up here. And you see Truex Jr. slowly trying to find himself back into the top 10.
Oh my goodness, guys, look at that. There 4 wide coming into turn number 1. Oh, that's not
my God.
Oh no, look out.
That was Todd Gillen in the 38 that made contact with the wall. That could have been disastrous right there for the 19 of Truex. He did not want him to be in that position, but looks like they would keep it straight. They're 4 wide once again, exiting 4. Oh my goodness, guys, my heart is beating out of my chest. This is crazy, crazy racing. Yeah, if you want to find out who is on the lead lap or not, the leaderboard is currently showing right there, the 38 of Todd Gillen. Oh, he's in the wall again.
He is currently a lap down currently right now, and a lot of guys are, as we still have 16 cars on the lead lap, so still cannot figure out who's on the lead lap or not, as there's so many cars scrambling around for position. Well, right now we see the 19 of Truex Jr. Now currently finds himself in 8. Now he's 5 positions back from Kyle Busch right now. My God!
Oh, and hard into the wall goes Chase Elliott.
Oh man, this is going to take out several contenders here running in the top 10. Danny Hamlin in the 11 is also spinning down there in the apron. Eric Jones in the 43, who had a strong day going on, also caught up in this as well. Looks like only 4 to 5 cars involved in this accident here, exiting turn number 2.
And guess who wasn't involved?
The 19.
The 19 of Martin
Truex.
Truex. Martin Truex was able to negotiate through that accident scene, and he currently now finds himself in the 7th place position as Chase Elliott in the number 9, the 43 of Eric Jones, and the 11 of Danny Hamlin, who was running in the top 10, were all involved in this one. Let's take a look at this replay.
Yeah, guys, these guys have been really going ham ever since the start of this restart. They were 4 wide once again temporarily, and clearly just did not work right there in the apron. Big hits right there for the 9 of Chase Elliott and the 43 of Eric Jones. Huge shunt right there by the 24, who was also involved in that wreck. Second time for him today.
Yeah, it's just been a bad night for the 24 William Byron, who was caught up in that lap 8 incident, as we got another replay of it. Once again, 4 wide just does not work here at Richmond, especially at that tight apron.
Looks like I saw the 1 of Ross Chastain also caught up in this as well. The 5 of Kyle Larson may have gotten the piece.
16 of AJ Allmendinger trying to negotiate through, as well as the 4 of Josh Berry. I believe they also got a piece of this as well.
And Tim James, you said it before, the 43 of Eric Jones being involved, this is huge for him because he was trying to get a lot more points to try to get back up into the top 30 in points. But with him being involved, that really took a major turn right there. Absolutely. He started in the top 5. He was running in the top 10 for a good majority of today. He was running in the 7th place position before all of this happened, and now he was caught up in this one. Now we're going to ride along with a lot of drivers here. We're going to ride along with Ross Chastain, who did get involved in that accident, almost had it home free until the 11 of Denny Hamlin got into his way. And yeah, that's such a shame. Ross Chastain really wanted to have a clean race here today if he wanted to jump back up in points. But this is definitely not what he definitely needed, especially being 29th in points.
Well, here's the view from Josh Berry, and this all happened right in front of him, and really, he couldn't do anything to prevent avoiding it.
Yeah, he really couldn't. The whole entire track was blocked. Everybody was checking up, so Josh Berry really couldn't do anything to avoid that accident scene. But thankfully, though, he doesn't have that much damage, so I believe he will be able to continue.
And guys, watch right here from championship contenders Chris Buescher in the 17. This whole accident started right in front of him. He's in a very bad position that he's more than likely getting in it, but look right here.
Oh my gosh.
Chris Buescher checked up from that accident, and somehow he gets away from this scot-free.
Yeah, no damage on the 17 either. That's very impressive, but not so much for the 5 of Kyle Larson.
Oh, yikes.
Right there. Kyle Larson, who thought he had it home free, got a little piece of it, but thankfully, though, he does not have any damage at all, besides that slight contact right there. But for his teammate William Byron on 24, not so much.
Here's another view of it, and this is not what the 9 or the 11 definitely needed, especially being top 10 in points. Chase Elliott, who already had a bad day at Talladega and a bad result at Michigan, definitely did not need this result here today.
No, absolutely, especially the 11 of Danny Hamlin, who has been one of the cleanest drivers, starting in the top 5 as well, and was pretty much in the top 10 for a good majority of the day.
And here's Chase Elliott's on board. Hard shot by the 9 of Chase Elliott, including the 43 of Eric Jones. Somehow, someway, he was able to keep it rolling.
Well, actually, everybody was able to drive away from that accident, but the big question is, will they be able to continue?
And this is the onboard from Danny Hamlin as the gap closed right there immediately, and hard shots were endured by the 11 of Danny Hamlin 3 times, both in the wall by Chase Elliott, and looks like that was Kyle Larson and the 24 William Byron, who both plowed into the 11 Danny Hamlin.
Unbelievable.
Well, for the second time here today, we are under caution for an accident that took place on the back straightaway. Our third caution total of tonight, which involves Eric Jones of the 43, the 9 of Chase Elliott, and the 11 of Danny Hamlin, and the 24 of William Byron. They're going to be cleaning this up here a little bit, so we're going to be under a slight delayage here. And as they clean this mess up here on the back straightaway after this multi-car accident, we're going to take another commercial break here. And when we come back, we're going to have a potential final restart here at Richmond Raceway for the Federated Auto Parts 400. And we'll be right back and see who will be victorious here in the end. We'll be right back after these quick messages.
Welcome back to Richmond. We will restart with 11 laps to go here at Richmond Raceway. And for your information, everybody that is in the inside lane is not on the lead lap, but everybody on the outside lane is. So Tyler Reddick currently our race leader. And actually, as a matter of fact, Simmons, I don't think Tyler Reddick even pitted at all yet. No, Sim, they are not. All the drivers that took that fuel strategy call on the first caution period did not go into the pits to take their tires yet. So everybody who came into the pit road for fuel only on the first caution period has still not came in, and they're still on 90-lap-year-old tires. So once again, to everybody who pitted in for fuel on that first caution period, I do not think they were going to make it all the way to the end here with 11 laps to go here at Richmond, Sim. And that is bad news to hear if you're a Tyler Reddick fan who has led all 90 laps so far here in this event. He only pitted once here today, and that was during the first caution period back in lap 8, and that was for fuel only. He has not been able to take tires here today. And also, I'm hearing that the 22 and the 8 are on the same strategy as the 45. They only took fuel only on lap number 8, so if they don't make it all the way to the end on tires, Truex Jr., who actually pitted with fuel and 4 tires, could potentially come out of here as the championship leader again. Well, guys, not to mention that the 19 is closing in on that 8. Now he's 3 positions behind the 8 of Kyle Busch, but he's also got a lot of lap traffic coming into play, and the only thing that matters is, can the 22 and the 8 somehow make it in with these tires? Well, I mean, they're good on fuel, so they can make it all the way on fuel, but how long can their tires last? That's the main question.
That's right. How long can their tires last here within these closing laps here at Richmond? We know that the 19 of Truex Jr. is good,
including the 23 of Bubba Wallace, who did came in on the pit road on lap 8 for not only for fuel, but he also took 4 tires as well. But these 7 laps can go by quickly. So how long can the 45 could stay up there as the 23 is slowly closing in on the leader?
Yeah, guys, this is going to be tight here at the very end because obviously, as Simmons said, the usual pit road window for tires is usually on lap 75 to 90, and we are already past that. And neither did the 45 nor the 8 went to pit road once in those 2 caution periods. The only time they went on pit road, as Simmons said, was during the first caution period on lap 8 when they only took fuel. So how long can they stay out there with those tires?
I mean, it's a questionable call. I'm pretty sure a lot of fans are really questioning about this strategy call because I have no idea about how this is going to work. I've never seen anything like this before. And this is all in virtual reality. So we actually have no idea about how these cars can handle with these 96-lap-year-old tires. So all he's going to do is wait and see and how things are going to play out here in these final 5 laps.
That's right, we got 5 laps to go here at Richmond, and there's the 19 of Truex Jr., who finds himself into the top 10. He's currently running 9th right now, right behind the 3 of Austin Dillon.
As for championship drivers, the 19 was the only one that took fuel and tires on that lap 8 caution period, but neither has the 8 or the 22 at all, so we'll see how things go.
Oh, he's going into the pits, guys!
Of Tyler Reddick's going into the pits
no.
with 4 laps remaining here at Richmond.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, guys, it was a gusty call for the 45 of Tyler Reddick, but he just came on the radio saying that his tires are not going to make it, so he came down on pit road, and that pretty much does it right there for Tyler Reddick's chance to going back-to-back wins here in the Fastenal Cup Series, guys.
Unbelievable.
And now with 2 laps remaining here at Richmond Raceway, now we see the 23 of Bubba Wallace now currently leading here
Oh my God!
And yes, the 8 of Kyle Busch is also pinning here.
Yep, the same thing also happened to the 8 of Kyle Busch. He decided to come down pit road because his tires were not going to make it, guys. So this is going to be huge for Kyle Busch in the championship standings, guys.
Oh my gosh!
Yep, and if the 19 can stay on track, he's going to have a huge advantage in the championship lead as we now see the white flag here in Richmond one more time around the small track.
I do not believe it.
And an unbelievable turn of events. Tyler Reddick, who led 98 laps here today, went down pit road because his tires were not going to make it all the way to the end. And Bubba Wallace, who has not led a single lap here today, is going to lead the final 2 laps, and he's going to come from out of nowhere to victory lane here at Richmond.
Let the go stay now, baby! Let's go! You know, you down right there!
Unbelievable.
And the 45 of Tyler Reddick, who was dominated throughout this whole entire race, led 98 laps, had to go down pit road because his tires were not going to make it, went from potentially going back-to-back wins here in the Fastenal Cup Series to going all the way down into the 11th place position. Unbelievable choke job by the 45. And guys, that's definitely something that the 19 of Truex Jr. definitely needed, because he came home into the 6th place position, while Kyle Busch, though, however, on the other hand, finished 16th after that pit road cycle. And yes, Truex Jr. is going to keep the championship lead after this unbelievable turn of events that took place here with 2 laps to go. When it all started with the 45 of Tyler Reddick, who was leading 98 laps, decided to come down pit road because he knew that the tires were not going to make it all the way in the end. And I believe he came onto the radio saying that he did have a tire going down, so he had no other choice but to go down pit road. And the 45 of Tyler Reddick, who was this close to potentially becoming the first driver to go back-to-back wins here at the Fastenal Cup Series, comes home in the 11th place position. And the 22 of Joey Logano even pitted during that pit road cycle. Yeah, Sam, actually a lot of drivers did. These were all the drivers that only took fuel only on that lap 8 caution period when they came down pit road. So this was everybody here. You see the 5 of Kyle Larson was in this mix as well. You also obviously saw the 8 of Kyle Busch. He was also in that mix as well. It was just unbelievable what we saw there in those last 2 laps, with everybody coming down pit road, including Tyler Reddick, the number 45, the most dominant car of the day. And right now, unofficially, finishing 2nd and 3rd is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Alex Bowman. Currently right now as 2nd and 3rd. As you see the ride along from Bubba Wallace, you can see his teammate dipping down pit road. He wasn't going to make it all the way to the end, and that's how the 23 of Bubba Wallace was able to get the lead. And then later on, the win here at Richmond Raceway. This is Bubba Wallace's first win here of the season. This is definitely what the 23 of Bubba Wallace definitely needed, especially after having that terrible first half of the season, after having so many bad qualifying results. And finally, he was able to pick it back up. And finally, here today, he is a winner here in the Fastenal Cup Series. And let's take a look at your results. Right now, unofficially, Bubba Wallace, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Alex Bowman rounds up the top 3 so far. Yeah, but how about the 3 of Austin Dillon? We haven't even talked about him all day today. And somehow, someway, he was able to quietly sneak his way up into the top 5. And he ended up finishing home in the 5th place position here today. Obviously, Truex finished well above the 8 and the 22, as both 8 and the 22 went down pit road with 2 laps to go. And Truex Jr. was able to come home in the 6th place position after he was struggling throughout this whole entire race, was well below the top 10, but somehow he was able to find his way back up to 6th. Yeah, Ross Chastain and Brad Keselowski were finally able to get himself a top 10 here today. And as a matter of fact, the crazy thing is, the top 10 that you're currently seeing right now were the only cars that finished on the lead lap. Everybody else was not able to finish on the lead lap here today, as they were all a lap down or more.
Unreal.
Yeah, but look at Denny Hamlin right there in the 9th place position. He was caught up in that accident on lap 84. He was able to find himself back up into the 9th place in the top 10. How about that for Denny? Finished on the lead lap too. How impressive. And of course, the rest of the field were all a lap down. They did not finish on the lead lap, including the 45 of Tyler Reddick, who won 98 laps and unfortunately just couldn't make it to the end on those tires. So he comes home in an 11th place position. And Christopher Bell, who was caught up in that accident on lap 8, also came back up and finished 12th. Yeah, but the other big story also that was seen there, Kyle Busch and Joey Logano finishing 16th and 18th. That's not going to be good for the both of them, especially the 19 of Truex Jr., who finished on the lead lap and finished 6th. That's going to give the 19 of Truex a much more comfortable gap in the championship lead. Yeah, but look right here in the 17th place position, the 67 of Corey Heim, who made his 2nd start here in the Fastenal Cup Series here today, got his 2nd top 20 finish after he finished 12th at Talladega. Now he finished home 17th here today. So pretty impressive about what Corey Heim's doing so far. Further on, deep into the field, you see the 43 of Eric Jones, who was having such a fantastic run going on here today. Caught up in an accident on lap 84, comes home in the 21st and 2 laps down. Yeah, that's such a shame, really, because he's really trying his best to try to get back up to the top 30 in points, as he's well below it in 31st right now. That is definitely not what the 43 of Eric Jones definitely needed, but how about the 51 of Cody Ware? Cody needed to finish well above the top 26 if he wanted to stay alive for a couple more races. Well, I think he just saved the season right there. Well, not quite, Tim James, but like I said, he did finish inside the top 26, so it could potentially save him, but he still could be mathematically eliminated in this race, but we'll get more into that when we get into it. And rounding up the field, you see the 25 of Jay Taylor's, who actually started pretty decent in his very first race in his life, comes home in the 32nd position, 3 laps down, of course, after hitting the wall on lap 1, coming down pit road right before the caution came out on lap 8. And the 2 drivers that were not able to finish here today, the 24 William Byron and the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek once again. Yeah, of course, that's definitely not what both of those guys definitely needed, especially the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek, which is now dangerously close to getting mathematically eliminated in this next race that we're about to go to. So he definitely needs to have a clean race here that's coming up, because next race he is in a position that he is more than likely to be mathematically eliminated after next race. And now let's take a look at your championship standings. We did have a lot of movement here in the top 5. Brad Keselowski now finds himself 3rd in the standings, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. jumps back up into 5th in the top 5.
Yeah, and I meant to say comfortable, because if you see right here, the 19 of Truex Jr. now has a pretty decent gap between him and Kyle Busch, because Kyle Busch is now 16 points behind Truex Jr. But Brad Keselowski now finds himself into the picture, and he's 22 points behind Truex Jr. right now.
Yeah, really, the top 5 really has a very good chance here to try to see if they can at least get in front of Truex Jr. here in these next 6 races, because, guys, get this, we got 6 races left. So I wouldn't say that Truex Jr. can just be smooth sailing throughout this whole entire rest of the season. He's still got to work very hard within these next couple races, because they could still potentially regain all of those points, and they can retake that championship lead back from Truex Jr.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I could see from the remainder of the schedule, I believe we also have 2 more short track races coming up, another 1.5 miles, another drafting track, and as well as another road course. So this schedule might be a little bit tougher. It just depends about where we go next. And yeah, just be on the lookout for everybody here in the top 5, and maybe some guys that's well below it. I think more than likely you should probably watch out for the guys in the top 12, because they have a really good chance to probably gain 60 points right behind Truex Jr.
And of course, as you can see, the 23 of Bubba Wallace, who won this race, now jumps up to 17th in points. Tyler Reddick does fall back here a little bit. But Ross Chastain, though, he did finish 9th. He came into this race 29th in standings. Now he comes home 26th in standings. Yeah, but pretty much everybody here that's full-time, that's eligible, is still pretty much in this battle right now. But I wouldn't say too much for the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek for that much longer, because obviously you say that John Hunter Nemechek could be very well be eliminated after this upcoming race, because look right here, he's nearly 200 points behind our championship leader Truex Jr. So there is a possible scenario that he could be eliminated after this upcoming race that we're about to go to. So, man, this upcoming race is going to be something to watch for sure. Absolutely, and speaking of that, we're about to reveal our next race that we'll be going to. For race 10 of the Fastenal Cup Series, we'll be heading over to the Glen. Watkins Glen International for the Gold Bowling at the Glen. This will be our second road course that we're going to be racing here in the Fastenal Cup Series, and I'm sure just hearing that, Shane Van Gisbergen got a big smile on his face.
Yeah, not to mention that he completely dominated that race IRL, but not only that, in the previous road course race that we went at Sonoma, he completely dominated that race as well by leading every single lap. So be on the lookout for Shane Van Gisbergen here to see if he could potentially get his second win of the season.
Yeah, man, that's going to be incredibly fun to watch. Not only do you got left turns, you also got right turns, and you got chicanes that everybody's going to have to go through. So I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, we don't know when we're going to be racing there, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And also, first and foremost, I want to be the first to say to everybody, saying that we're not going to be having a race during the Christmas week, because obviously race officials want all these race car drivers, all these pit crew members, and all the fans in the stands and all the fans watching at home, including us, to have a great Christmas, to spend time with friends and family. So we're not going to be doing a race here in these next couple of weeks, but I believe I'm being told is that the next race at Watkins Glen is going to take place near the New Year. So it's going to be a great time there. We're going to have one more race before the end of the year, before we move on into the year 2026. Thankfully, though, Racing Energy 12 Enterprises Productions is able to stay alive for a little bit much longer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. You know, one more race here in 2025 before we move on to the final 5 races in 2026. I'm still looking forward to it because, you know, the championship battle, it's still pretty intense. It's still pretty tight. And I'm looking forward to see how things are going to turn out here in these final 5 races.
Yeah, but for right now, we're going to be concluding our coverage here at Richmond Raceway. Jimothy, Tim, James, and Simmons, thanks for joining me here on the booth here today.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate being up here.
Yeah, definitely an honor to be up here in the booth, and I can't wait to see how the remainder of the season is going to turn out. At least the fans know is that this is going to be a whole lot better than Fox than what we usually get. Yeah, absolutely. Well, race fans, thank you all so much for tuning in to our coverage here for the Federated Auto Parts 400 here at Richmond Raceway. We hope to see you guys at the Go Bowling at the Glen for race number 10 of the Fastenal Cup Series. And once again, happy holidays to every single one of you. So for right now, good night here at Richmond Raceway, and we'll see you guys at the Glen. Merry Chrysler. Oh yeah, rest in peace to Michael and Annette, man. That's absolutely devastating. You hate to see it. Wait, Brandon Bunch is also dead as well? What?